Okay, everybody, just sit back and relax because the freak show, as usual, is getting even worse, honestly. So, yes, it is Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. Let's start off with this. It's just unbelievable to me how they spin it. So, right off the bat, we got this big anticipated inflation report this morning. So, consumer prices month over month continue to rise. Consumer prices year over year continue to rise. Even core prices minus food and energy, well, they're rising as well. However, the twist or the spin from the propaganda ministry is, well, the pace is slowing. Prices are still rising across the board. But the pace at which they are rising is slowing, and this is fantastic news. In fact, it's orgasmic. It's so orgasmic that the stock market right now, futures higher across the board. But the bigger story is the entire yield curve dropped. How is that happening? Not only did the entire yield curve drop, the dollar on a relative strength basis pretty much fell through the floor. So with, again, yield curve dropping, 10-year yield dropping, relative strength of the dollar falling, the MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, also fell. So this is great news this morning, people. I'm sure you're happy to hear that prices continue to rise across the board. Prices are going up and up and up, just as you and I anticipated that they would do. But apparently it's this great news because the pace is slowing, or at least that's what they're telling us. Look, you can't possibly, no matter how hard you try, to make up this kind of stuff. It just can't be done. Again, part of the Joe Biden-Stein re-election campaign, because he's going to tell you that inflation is dropping, but it's not. You see, that's the spin. Inflation continues to rise, the pace is dropping, but how it's going to be spun by the brain-dead president, by the script he's going to read, he's going to tell you inflation is falling. But it's not falling at all. It continues to rise, and it will continue to rise. There's just no doubt about it. Anyway, with that said, let's again look at a few other things here. You got Bitcoin, cryptos catching a bid this morning. A nice reversal from yesterday. Crude oil, you want to talk about a reversal from yesterday? Getting bid nicely higher. Gold and silver also catching a bid this morning. Okay, I guess everyone's happy. And the world is just perfect now. Oh, yes, of course it is. But let me ask you, we're friends, right? We talk about everything. Who's buying all the debt? Is it you? No. Is it me? No. So who's getting in here and keeping rates suppressed with every fiber of whatever they may be? Of course, it's the Federal Reserve, people. They're buying it all, just as you and I have known since time immemorial. You can't have a drop in the entire yield curve, or even just one part of it, like the 10-year yield. I mean, we just made a pretty astonishing reversal here without a major entity, a major player getting in here. And this is central banks with what they're doing. You know this. And again, I guess it's making stock market participants happy, as the stock market seems to do only one thing these days. We don't get pullbacks. We don't get corrections anymore. It's just this mechanism of rate suppression, pushing cash into the stock market, further inflating a bubble. It's amazing to me, how we can't have a real market at all. We don't have a free market. We don't have a free market economy. We have the propaganda ministry, of course, that continues to tell lie after lie after lie. I'm telling you, just for fun, just go flip through some channels. Fox Business, CNBC, Bloomberg, they're the top three here. And they're going to tell you how great these inflation numbers are, because inflation continues to rise. And you should be really, really happy about that. Yeah, maybe they'd be happy if we were all eating bugs. But again, the spin is, okay, but the pace is slowing. I mean, look, they could tell us whatever they want to. Things that we're buying in the stores are shrinking, shrinkflation. They're charging us more for them, and they're telling us everything is fantastic. I want you to think about something else that's going on. This has been going on for a very, 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 very long time. So we have this central bank rigging of the debt market. They're buying all the debt. They're suppressing yields here. And I've discussed this before, but I want you to ponder it again. Savers have been robbed blind of multiple trillions of dollars collectively since quantitative easing 1. Okay, we're talking about back in 2008, 2009, and this has never stopped. So it's a mechanism of grand theft on an unprecedented scale. I mean, they want you to be happy about the rate of interest that you're earning on your interest earning accounts. That is nowhere even near the rate of inflation. It's theft, but people are taking it just like a smack across the face, a backhand across the face, back and forth, and they just sit there and just deal with it. Oh, this is okay. No, it isn't. This is not the way the system is supposed to work. But that's what they're trying to convince people. That's how it works. Oh, don't worry. We're gonna give you crumbs, and meanwhile, we're gonna destroy you by robbing you blind. And that's exactly what's happening here. It's an unbelievable thing. But I do want to hear from you on all this stuff that we talk about here. Anyway, looking at a couple of other things here. Again, going back to understanding what you should do in this kind of an environment. You need exposure to commodities. People have been telling you this for the longest time. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to repost a list of exchange-traded funds that will give you exposure to commodities. I'm going to post this in my free newsletter right after doing this video blog, so you can go have a look at that. Obviously, gold and silver, the place to be here. You have to understand this, and I know how angry this makes people. Oh, look what they're doing to gold. Look what they're doing to silver. Exactly. They're dumping paper contracts that don't exist onto the market to keep gold and silver prices suppressed here. Smile when they do that, honestly, because it gives you an opportunity to buy something real at incredibly suppressed prices, at least in my view. Do your own research on this. Again, just look at the Dow gold ratio, gold silver ratio. Gold, silver, and commodity prices in aggregate are going to remain suppressed probably for a very long time until the debt market implosion occurs. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Again, we have this situation here where world central banks are buying all the debt, none more so than the Fed, keeping rates suppressed, opening up a doorway for cash to flow into the stock market, creating a massive bubble, real estate bubble. All this is going to burst. It's going to correct at one point. And who really cares when? I don't think about it. You shouldn't think about it either. Just think about getting yourself on the right side of this. Now, again, about getting yourself on the right side of this, the mainstream media, yet again, is pushing the food insecurity narrative, the shortages narrative. They're telling us what they're going to do. So again, I'm going to tell you, look at someone like Alaska Prepper, okay? A great guy who knows what he's talking about. I'm not really the guy to be listening to when it comes to preparing for, I guess, food shortages, food insecurity, massive food inflation, which is coming, and I mean massive. So, but you need to be prepared for this because they always tell us what they're going to do. They tell us what they're going to do prior. And they're telling us right now that they're going to force us into some kind of food insecurity, food shortages. That's what they're going to do. Honestly, and it's going to create another crisis. This is what they do. Crisis to crisis to crisis, which will need to be funded. Now, some people got angry with me. I want to cover this real quick. When I said forget aliens, I mean, that was the title of my video yesterday morning. Forget aliens. They've already chosen the next crisis, which is going to be food shortages and massive amounts of food inflation here, and obviously all kinds of other issues related to food insecurity, blah, blah, blah. I didn't say that we're not going to get an alien crisis, okay? I just said the next one, at least in my opinion, is going to be a food crisis. Are we going to get an alien crisis? Don't be surprised. Yes, we more than likely are, because that's going to require funding as well. Whatever they're going to throw at you, they're going to create crisis out of nothing and tell you, okay, we have a crisis, everyone. we have to throw billions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars at it, like the war that's going on and on and on that you knew would go on and on since day one. Anyway, I wanted to cover that up real quick. Yeah, there's an alien crisis already. They're trying to raise the specter of fear in people, and it's going to require funding. So be ready for that crisis too. But in my opinion, they're telling us what the next one is. That is food. Food insecurity, food shortages. They're telling us what they're going to do. Anyway, people, I do want to hear from you on these things. What do you think about this? Consumer prices, they're rising across the board, people. I'm not making it up. Look it up for yourself. But it's the greatest news in the world that inflation continues to rise because its pace is apparently slowing. Well, that's what they're trying to convince you of. All right, look, I'm out of here. I love you a lot. People from the heart. Please, if I covered anything interesting for you here, that thumbs up down there, it is so valuable. It gets this stuff out there. Please, it takes a nanosecond. Hit that thumbs up. Get this video to be seen. Comment. That's so important as well. I will read the comments. I promise you. And I will also see all of you later on for my live stream, 1:05 p.m. Pacific time. Have your questions ready for me. We'll cover them. And I'll see you then. All right.